Well, I love rock and roll music. I love rhythm and blues. Something about that high note sound gets me every time. Well, it makes me wanna cry. Well, it gets me so high. Don't ever wanna go down. Well, later in the afternoon, about supper time. Yeah. We grab that banjo, grab that fiddle, by the firelight. Playing songs for our family and all our friends. That's y'all. Oh, 'cause I love rock and roll music. I love rhythm and blues. Something about that high lonesome sound gets me every time. Well, it makes me wanna cry. Well, it gets me so high. I don't ever wanna calm down. No, no. Some sound gets me every time. Makes me wanna cry. I know some sound gets me so high. I don't ever wanna come back down. Oh no.
And big thanks, Goose. All right, so it's a weekly thing. It's a weekly thing that I will forget to press go live at the very beginning. It's a weekly thing that I will start off muted because I'll be listening to music and I don't want to play this microphone here. And it's a weekly thing that either Guzman or Isaac will remind me that I'm muted. So it's a staple. It's a staple. We got a big show tonight, though. It's probably maybe the biggest show yet. We got a great guest coming on, Awesemo, real name Alex Baker. He's a DFS legend. I'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute. Also coming on is Mike Weisberg. If you've ever watched Plunge Father stream, you know who he is. He's very active in the Top Shot community and the NFT community. And we've got one of my personal favorites and Nine Lives Lounge legend, DreamShake, coming on. So we're going to have a great stream tonight. Before we get to any of those people, though, I'd like to bring in my co-host here. You know him. I know him. He's everybody's favorite. He's the only person I know that's played basketball with 3 different NBA players, that being Jason Maxiell, Darren Williams, and, of course, now he's also played with Tyrese Halliburton.
I full disclosure, was not able to play against Tyrese Halliburton, although I did see the amount of sweat coming off the other people that were a part of that event, and I'm sure they trying to guard him would have been quite the task. He didn't break a sweat at all, mind you. Like he was totally fine, but I'm guessing he's pretty salty about losing that game of a knockout. And did he lose to Eisenberg? Because I wasn't part of that.
He lost the game of knockout. I don't think it was Eisenberg. It was someone who won won some contest to be there, and that's got to be pretty embarrassing for an NBA player. But one of my favorite things is on YouTube, you can see the videos of people challenging, like Brian Cardinal. People challenge him on Twitter, like, tell him he's a scrub and, he can't play. And he'll go play you in one-on-one, and he just destroys everybody. It's awesome. It reminds you that NBA players, like, are on a whole other level than the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Hey, just lots of respect for the introduction, man. Like, I feel honored to just be part of it. Thank you so much.
Well, look, I had my Browns are playing tonight, so I had to wear. Every week I have a T-shirt that has something to do with something. So I got the all that we shit don't live here no more. Not sure if anyone knows that. If you're a Browns fan in the chat, you might know what that means. But I was thinking about today. It's a tough decision. Who is my favorite Cleveland Brown? And there's a lot of Cleveland Browns to like. You've got Myles Garrett. You've got Baker Mayfield. You've got Nick Chubb. You've got OBJ. Now we've got John Johnson. But Jarvis Landry is the dude, I think. I think Jarvis Landry is the dude. DreamShake says Dolphins fan, so he knows who it is. I'll play you the clip. So this is a clip from Hard Knocks. So Jarvis Landry, we traded for Jarvis Landry. He comes in, and he comes into a losing organization, an organization that had just gone 0-16, and it's just a clip from Hard Knocks where he just stands up in the meeting in the middle of a wide receiver team group, like some sort of team meeting. And I love the very first thing he says is he goes, listen, I don't know what the fuck's been going on around here. And then he just goes on. And then you see the quote, all that weak shit don't live here no more. But this is how you play football. Hang on one second. Let's make sure I don't do any muted. I'm notorious for. All right. Share the audio. That's the thing I got to click. I always forget. But we got it. All right, so this is Jarvis Landry. This is I consider this the moment that the Cleveland Browns started on the path back to success. What a legend.
I don't know what the fuck's been going on here. And I don't know why it's been going on here. But if you're not hurt, like if your hamstring ain't falling off the fucking bone, your leg ain't broke, I don't know, you should be fucking practicing. Straight up. That shit is weakness. And that shit is contagious as fuck. And that shit ain't gonna be in this room, bro. That shit been here in the past, and that's why the past has been like it is, bro. That shit is over with here, bro. If you can fucking practice. You can't get no better. Ain't nobody gonna get better by being on the fucking sideline if you ain't fucking hurt. If you're not fucking hurt, you gotta fucking practice. Because you make other motherfuckers work even fucking harder. Now they had more fucking risk of getting hurt because you don't want fucking practice. Because you being a bitch. Straight up, man, that shit is fucking real, bro. That shit ain't happening here. I'm just letting y'all niggas know that shit is not fucking happening here. I'm hurting, I'm tired just like every fucking body in this motherfucker. But I ain't taking no motherfucking days off because I can't be fucking great that way. That gotta be the fucking attitude and the mentality all the fucking time. All that weak shit don't fucking live here no more. That shit don't exist. It's contagious, bro. It's really fucking contagious. It's contagious.
I didn't do it that time. It's contagious, bro. I remember later in the season, when the rookies were allowed to make their tape where they make fun of the veterans, they made a tape that repeated, "It's contagious. It's contagious," trying to poke some fun at Landry. That was pretty cool. All right. So let's just remove that. Get rid of this. Technical things here. Torque.
Si, senor.
How involved are you in DFS and fantasy sports?
I do season long fantasy. I've been doing. I couldn't tell you how long. Anything from auction leagues, live drafts to snake drafts, whatever. Dabbled in daily fantasy. I have a lot of questions, to be honest. I think there's a lot to learn. There are a few people that I do follow on here, Awesemo being one of them. For sure, that just seem to understand the dynamics of it a lot better than I do. And mind you, I come from a fantasy baseball background where, you do stare at the analytics and you look at the pitcher versus batter matchup historically, whatever left. I mean, and that rabbit hole does go very deep. But I'd be very, very curious to get an insider's perspective or somebody who has that much experience like Awesemo into what their process is. I mean, do they have any advice for beginners? Clearly he's advanced, but man, I'd be a kid in a candy store just, asking questions, quite honestly.
Well, you know what, Torque, my friend, you've come to the right place because we're going to have Awesemo on here in a second. Sorry, I'm just tweeting out that we're live. And I'm really excited to talk to Alex Baker, aka Awesemo, as well, because I've followed him for a long time. I always love his Twitter account is also one of my favorites. He's got a very dry sense of humor, quite like myself. But a lot of people that watch my stream and that follow me and that'll be watching this on a replay, they know about Awesemo a little bit through Top Shot. Lots of most of the people that watch me, are watching my stream because of Top Shot and NFTs and not so much DFS. But I got into DFS and I got into Top Shot and NFTs because of DFS. And one of the reasons that I got into Top Shot was I saw Awesemo tweet about it one day. And so he said just that it was a cool thing. And so for those of you who don't know, that only know about him in Top Shot, he is considered by most to be the #1 ranked DFS player in the world. He's been on the top of the Roto Grinders rankings since 2017, which is pretty incredible because there's pretty big sharps that are gunning for that #1 title. He's qualified for a live final 55 different times. I don't know anyone that's qualified for one live final. He's qualified for a live final 55 times, but the one stat about his fantasy career that blew me away, his DFS career, is that he has won the FanDuel or DraftKings $100,000 tournament 78 times. 78 times. I've won it exactly 0 times, and I've entered a lot. And that, like I said, that doesn't count some of the bigger ones that he's won. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on here. Someone that I've been following for a long time. Please welcome the man himself. How's it going, Awesemo? Alex, what do you want to go by?
What's up, guys? Either one's fine. Aaron, man, I've been a big fan of your Twitter. Always having a lot of interesting stuff to say about the NFTs. So it's awesome to be on here talking to you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. It was really cool to. Sorry, I'm trying to just mess. Yeah, it was really cool to of you to come on. I was just really glad that you kind of accepted my invite. And I was looking at at kind of your path to where you are now, and I didn't know that at one point after college you were running not running but part of a nonprofit environmental organization.
Yeah, definitely. That was like my job out of college. As I went door to door, I was that guy that would knock on your door and be like, "Yo, can you give me $35?" So that it was like a little bit of an inauspicious beginning for a gambling career, but actually that job, man, that was a really tough job that kind of helped shape where I am today.
Did you get into that because of any strong feelings you have about the environment, or the opportunity just kind of presented itself?
I mean, I think all of us feel like the environment's important, and some of my friends were like, you can have it as a summer job. So that's I tried it out, and it was really fun, like the community and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, cool. And you graduated from Washington University, right, with a math major in 2008. Were you?
And I know you're a math teacher, right?
Exactly. I think that's one of the reasons we vibe on Twitter a little bit. Is
Right.
I've taught math for a long time, almost 20 years. But 6th to 8th grade math is a little different than being a college math major. I do remember tutoring a college student in math, and literally his mom paid me a lot for tutoring. She was paying me almost $200 an hour. but I would literally have to study for 2 hours to tutor him for an hour. You know, I have to really. I mean, there's a big jump from middle school to college math. Do you feel like you were always gifted in math, like from a young age, or is that just a major that you felt could benefit you after college?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I loved about math was there were no essays required for the classes, so it was a lot easier from that perspective. But actually, I do enjoy math a little bit too, and I did a little bit of competitive math in high school, so that kind of helped me
So,
get into DFS.
what kind of competitive math, like math counts or something along those lines?
It's a smaller organization called Academic Games that isn't in every state, but it was big in the city I was growing up in. So they had a unique math competition where you competed like 3 people at a time, and you like took them on head to head. So it was pretty cool.
Let me ask you this. Were the coaches in that league and the judges like very strict about the rules? I was an NAL coach, National Academic League coach, and I didn't know what I was getting into when I started. And man, my first match, I was called out on like all these violations, and I was like, these are middle school. I didn't. So was it like some stuff like that where like not only do you have to compete in the math, but you have to do like follow the rules like perfectly?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it was. Like, it's a good life lesson that to be good at like a math competition, it's not all about math. You gotta like actually just understand and exploit like the rules of the game, and I think that's true in any sort of endeavor like DFS or NFTs or whatever.
Sure. So then after college, so when you were getting a math major, did you plan on using it for what you're doing now, or for playing poker, or like what was your plan when you were getting a math major? Or were you like me that like when I was getting an English major in college, which is what I got, I didn't really have a plan. I was just kind of existing and knowing I had to get a degree, but didn't really have a plan.
I always had poker in the back of my head because I started playing in my senior year of high school, but then everyone at my school started like trying to get these corporate jobs like in finance and stuff, and I was like, maybe I'll try that, and I was like, nah, that's whack. I'm not. That's how I
So
started going to the environmental path.
okay. So after college, you started playing poker, and you played professionally for a long time. Was that mostly online or live, or like a hybrid of both?
Yeah, I played for 5 years professionally. I played online, and about 1 year after I went pro, Black Friday happened. So then I had to start going to Canada. I moved back to Michigan, where I'm from, to be a little bit closer. And I was driving back and forth to Windsor, Ontario, to play.
Nice. And did you ever play against any of like the big guns, like a Helmuth or a Negreanu or a Chan or a Texas Dolly? You know, did you ever play against any of those, like any of the legends?
Man, I never did. The biggest legend I played with, I played a lot of sit and goes, and there's this guy, Wizard of Oz. He set the record for most Poker Stars points in 1 year, and I thought that was damn cool. That impressed me more than Ivy.
Do you remember the like the whole scandal of the cheating that came out with online poker, and it was even on like 60 Minutes. I remember that kind of scared me away from it because I would play and notice some strange things. I played a lot of online poker when it first started. As a teacher, sometimes I would say this is my summer job, and I would take my laptop up to the bar in the summer, and I would just sit down and I would eat and drink like a fruit punch, and then like I had a certain time that I was allowed to switch to beer, and then it would always be like there was a lot of people all of a sudden at the bar, and I'd be sitting there with this laptop trying to play poker, and like it all of a sudden wasn't cool anymore. Like it's like people bumping into me, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
But without getting too far into the weeds, just real quick, as a poker nerd myself, or aspiring poker nerd, what were you expecting variance over cash games? Were you playing tournaments? Because you take enough bad beats in tournaments, it'll make you online like really not want to do it anymore. But I'm curious, what is if I could ask, like, as far as a favorite poker moment that you've had, have you played in the World Series of Poker? Like, is there a specific game that you like? I'm all about this for sure.
Definitely, yeah. My biggest poker accomplishment, I guess, would be I think it was 2016. I I earned the Poker Stars Elite Supernova Elite category or VIP, which you had to like pay like 200K in rake or something, and then you got like 100K back. So like it took like a whole year of working towards it, and to do it, I played these really high rake games like sit and goes and cap, no limit. So I was kind of in the weeds, like playing all the games that some people thought were less exciting. But the thing with the tournaments in poker, you had to sit there for like 8 hours. So like, man, that's brutal.
Yeah, poker is a game for the patient person. And then if you see your wine there, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, Torque. If you're playing a game where the blinds are going to go up that fast, it's almost as though the skill goes out the window a little bit. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not like, to me. That's not real. I don't like turbo, blind games, because there's more luck than skill in those games.
Yeah.
Would I be out of line for asking what your Poker Stars handle was back in the day? Because I feel like I know maybe what it is. Or if you don't want to answer, that's totally cool.
It was You My Bits. I made it when I was like 16. I thought that was pretty cool at the time.
I made this name when I was 16 called Rock Doggy, and
Nice.
can't get
Damn,
rid
you
of it.
stuck with it. Nice.
No,
So-
I read blogs and I've read stories about hands you've been in. Like that's why I'm sitting
Oh,
here tripping
really?
out. No, real talk though. Like that's respect though. Like I wish I could get on that level as far as the extrapolation of being able to read people and understand certain situations. But man, like that's just much respect for what you do for real.
Thanks, man.
So after you played poker for a while, and I assume you were pretty successful overall at poker, is that safe to say?
Yeah,
move into-
I think there was a lot of guys like me who were kind of grinding out like a decent income, but nothing that would make you crypto rich or anything.
Right, and poker's tough because like I know Negreanu, he posts his gains every year, and like he had a year where he lost over 100 grand, just on the year as a whole. If you look at his 10-year table, he's obviously way up, but you can have some bad beats and some really big losses quickly in poker. But what made you make the shift then from poker to DFS?
Well, there was like two factors. One was Poker Stars got bought out by this venture capital firm, and then they started like kind of undermining the VIP program. That was how I made most of my money. So I kind of like saw the end coming a little bit. And at the same time, I heard about DFS, and people were like quitting poker to play DFS. And these are guys that are winning more poker than me. So that definitely got me interested. And then once I realized like DFS, you can scale so much easier because you don't have to sit there and play the hands. You just put it in all your lineups. You can enter as many tournaments as you want. I just saw a lot more potential.
Yeah, it's just almost it's almost like a simulation in a sense that you can just put it in, go out, do something, come back, and then the results.
Totally.
When you are playing DFS, do you watch the games? I know some people are like Billy Bean from the Athletics that they can't watch. Do you watch the games and get into the games, or are you more that I'll check when the game is over?
If I'm watching, it's not for like professional purpose. It's more just for fun. Like I like sweating the UFC cards on Saturday. That's probably my favorite. And then any like primetime football game, is awesome. But I'm just like not good at scouting the tape. Like, so I don't think I'd be able to tell you anything more than just what the box score like tells you anyway.
The box score tells you. I was one that would sit with my cereal when I was a kid and just open the paper and just pour through the box scores. And I couldn't watch the games back then, but that was just as good to me, sort of. Real Sweet Lou in the chat wants to know, was that your plan to make a living, or was it just something that you were just kind of doing to pass the time as a career, like maybe between careers or so to speak?
The funny thing is, like, I got fired from that job going door to door fundraising, and then I was like, well, I have no job. I might as well play poker. So that's how I started doing it. I'd always been playing, but that was the opportunity that were at the time to go pro.
So have you worked a full-time job since graduating college besides the nonprofit door-to-door gig?
Well, my company also.
Not that, I mean, yeah, not that that's not a full-time gig. Yeah.
Well, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
like that is a real job. Like, we're all trying to work full time to run this website, but because I mean it's doing stuff I love. I guess I can. It's not much of a job.
Yeah.
If I could jump in real quick. So given your history in mathematics and given that you said you quote unquote don't like to watch the tape, I'm with you as far as like I love the sweat as far as betting on a game, whether it's prime time, whatever, and just watching just for the pure entertainment value. Would you say that your strategy is way more based on analytics at this point as far as interpretation or extrapolation of data? Do you have a specific algorithm that you use? I mean, and I don't want you to give up, any of the big secrets, but, it seems to me that you strike me as the kind of guy who can create your own algorithms and make a simulation work for you in a very successful manner.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I actually you can go on Awesemo.com and get a lot of my tools. So you can get the projections, the ownership projections, and a lot of simulation results that go into my process. So, I mean, those are all key. Like the thing about DFS that most people don't realize is it is quite sophisticated at this point, and you're competing against a lot of sharp action essentially, so you got to really make the right moves. The edges are a little bit smaller these days, so it's not like you can find some plays that are like no one else even thought of. It's like it's not really like that. You just gotta make all the right choices consistently.
And if you you can see you can save 33% right now on Awesemo football draft kit with the promo code Elite QB. I assume you're talking about Baker Mayfield with Elite.
No, just real quick, that's a sexy looking website, man. That website looks really damn good.
It's the best. And when I say this, I really mean it. It's the best. If you just go to what they have for NFL and just the tools, I mean, I don't have nearly enough time to go into these tools, but the lineup builder, the cruncher, which that's a separate add-on you can do. People wonder how people make 100 lineups and put it into the same contest. Well, they don't manually do that. I mean, people do, but that takes a long time. And the Fantasy Cruncher does that for you with the Awesemo has players pre-ranked, and then you can adjust them, which is something that I like to do. Then the lineup builders are always great. Lineup study. You got the Fantasy Cruncher rewind, so you can see what happened last week, last year, et cetera, et cetera. There's just so much data on this website. And I know that in some people's mind, and Awesemo, correct me if I'm wrong, in some people's mind, they really just want to sign up and have you give them the lineup that's going to make them the most money. And that's not quite how it works. I mean, you can get lineups here and you can certainly build them quickly with the data here, but the key is to use this data to construct your own thing, because if you do what everyone else is doing, you're never going to win a GPP anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you have to have a lineup that's different than other people to take down the big prizes. So what we try to do instead of giving a lineup is just get general guidelines to help you easily build a lineup that's going to be successful. So the biggest rule of thumb that I recommend is that a lot of people gravitate too much towards the best plays or maybe the sleepers, but you need an optimal mix of the two, where you have maybe 2/3 of your players are the kind of popular plays of the week, and 1/3 are the more risky type of players.
Yeah, because if you fill your lineup with all players that are 1 to 5% owned, well, there's a reason those guys are 1 to 5% owned. You throw a few of those guys in there, you hope to hit on them, and then you hope to hit the right chalk, and you just hope to get the right combo. It's not rocket science, but it's not easy, obviously.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I figured there's data out there because as you said, you mentioned chalk clearly that the 1 to 5%ers is one thing, but who's that boomer bust guy that 1 week? And I mean, I've been more, like I said, season long, let me just throw some darts to see what happens. But that's where I want to get better at understanding. And that's why, honestly, like I'm going to buy the Awesemo subscription after this. Like I've got no reason not to, because I think what it'll teach me is in these certain scenarios, it's not going to be every week. It can't be every week. I mean, like it's just not that easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing, everybody be getting rich, right? But the situations that you could potentially identify that is said are the true boom or bust, and they're going to potentially boom on that side. That's what I want to know, and that's what I truly want to get better at understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the thing that people like don't realize is like you have this 3% owned player, and we assign like percentage chances that they're going to have like a boom where you're going to need them to win. So like maybe that guy at 3% has like a 5% chance of being one of the higher scorers of the week, and like even though the 5% is really low, that's still like good odds compared to how many people have them.
Yeah, it's a science, but it's still tough. I actually like your NBA tools probably the best. I buy those every single year. I really love the boom or bust tool.
Yeah.
Is that for NFL too, or is that just NBA?
Yeah, we kind of introduced it later in the season last year, so check the site for that coming up.
Sweet.
Here.
Nice. All right, so let me ask you a couple rapid fire questions here. Favorite sport to play DFS?
Oh man, I guess NFL.
Okay. Favorite sport overall, just to watch?
I mean, I like NFL, but UFC, I really enjoy just kind of the experience of playing DFS in that.
Most profitable DFS sport for just anybody, would you say? Which one has the best gains, would you say?
Man, it's like the smaller ones that no one expects to like have the best ROIs in. So like my soccer ROI, like I don't like do soccer. We have this guy Giovanni that's really sharp that does our projections, and I had like a crazy ROI using that. And then we've done a lot of college football with Matt Gajeski, and like I'm kind of like seeing the other side of the coin where like I'm kind of like the guy using the tools on the site instead of the one creating them, and you can actually make a lot of money doing that.
That's good stuff, though. I mean, like I would say, though, that's a dangerous question to ask the man, because it's like no matter what he answers, it's like, nope. If you don't get me rich, then you're wrong. You know, like I mean,
well, I'm sure you get people who think that's what's going to happen. You know, is that and you know, anyone can have a bad week, a bad month, or even a bad year. It happens to even the best of the best, and people just have to understand that you have to just take responsibility for what you're doing and just go from there. Who is your all-time favorite athlete?
Oh man, I was a big fan of the Going to Work Pistons back in the early zeros. So I guess my favorite player on that team was probably Chauncey Billups.
Nice, big shot. Nice, that's a good one. One of my favorite questions to ask people that come out here: Kyrie, is he an all-star or a superstar?
I feel like he's a superstar. I mean, Kyrie, like he probably has the best handles in the league, so that's not something that really like shows on a box score, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
Who's your all-time favorite band?
I guess Pink Floyd would probably be my favorite. It's been a while since I listened to like an album like straight through, but all of their albums are killer.
Is it true you tried to start an emo band in high school?
It is true. Yeah, we did one show. It was this band called Friends Forever, and yeah, we started it to try to pick up some chicks, but we didn't see it through long enough. But I'm pretty confident it would have worked.
I'm pretty sure 98% of bands that have men in them are started to pick up chicks.
That would explain why most bands have mostly guys.
Probably so. GOAT, LeBron, Jordan, or Ty?
I didn't watch Jordan, so it's hard for me to go with him. I would go with LeBron.
Yes, nice. I'm a Cleveland homer, so
Nice.
if you can see behind me. What's your favorite place to stay in Vegas?
I've never been to Vegas.
Stop. Really?
Seriously, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, you can't play DFS there, so that's why I haven't gone in the past 5 years. But since I played all online poker, I never went.
If you're in a fantasy league, would you rather do best ball or a traditional fantasy format?
I would do best ball because, man, I always am in the leagues with guys that don't check their lineups, and then like it doesn't matter how good they are. It could be like some of the biggest influencers in fantasy football. They just never update their lineups. So I feel like best ball is a little bit more level of a playing field.
Because of you don't have to check your lineup. Is that?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about League of Legends? Because I know you play that, and I know a couple other people that I know play it, and I've never played it. I honestly don't. All I know it's a game that you can actually like make money while you're playing somehow. I don't know what type of game it is. Can you give me like the 1 minute like breakdown of League of Legends, and then I'm gonna bring in DreamShake and Mike Weiss and see if and I don't want to keep you too long, but I'd love you to stay as long as you want, but I want to know about League of Legends, and I think people in the chat probably do too.
By the way, just real quick, I just want to say this. Now we're going to League of Legends. For me, this is fucking dope. Excuse my language, and I'm done.
I gotta jump off in a few minutes, but yeah, League of Legends. I got into it during COVID because all the sports were on hold except like Bundesliga. And I started playing League of Legends DFS, and it's really interesting because, like most sports, like obviously, like the physical like attributes of the players like have a huge impact on the results. But League of Legends is all like strategy, but still you have teams that are way better than other teams. So it's like very high in skill and teamwork. So it's just a very intriguing like game or esport, I guess the kids would call it.
What's the entry point though? Is if you don't mind me asking. I mean, so if I'm somebody who I don't have a League of Legends account, I want to sign up, I want to play, and I've watched it, mind you, on Twitch where like the big matches go on, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of legit. What would be the jumping off point? Where would you suggest somebody like me starts?
Well, it's a free game, so just play the game, learn the basics, and for me, I was just playing to learn it for DFS, and just knowing how the game works helped me kind of enter those tournaments, so that was a lot of
fun. Real quick, I'd like to welcome on Mike Weisberg and my man DreamShake. What's going on, fellas? Real quick, though, because I will forget, and I know Awesemo's got to go, I promised someone in the chat to get a month of what I'm going to do is buy someone in the chat a month of Awesemo's football DFS tools minus the cruncher, and we're gonna give that away right now. And I always want to do trivia, but the problem with trivia is if it's too easy, whoever has the best connection gets it, and if it's too hard, whoever has the best connection gets it anyway because they move. So I like to do the random number generator, and so I have actually already generated a random number, and so if you're in the chat, go ahead and enter a number in between 1 and 421. 1 and 421. Enter a number. You may only enter one time. I remember someone definitely. Wow, look at that. 333. TK pseudo game. You got 1 minute, by the way. I like to try to look at these as they come in so that I can easily pick out the winner. I do really want to thank Awesemo. While these numbers are coming in, Dream or Mike, do you have any questions for Awesemo?
Well, Awesemo, I actually don't know your whole Top Shot kind of history. I don't know if I missed that because I ate dinner real quick, but I kind of want to know, just being a Top Shot guy and all, and I guess going with that, how you got into Top Shot, but also maybe some similarities between that and daily fantasy, because I feel like that's the next step. Integration-wise, is in that realm. Do you think that Top Shot can kind of take a little piece of the pie, or is it something completely separate that they'd have to do? I'd love to hear that. No, it's a loaded question.
Dude, you got a sick Cool Cats jersey there, man. Respect.
Thank you. Gotta rep it.
Shout out 9 Lives Lounge, baby.
Time Lapse Lounge. Love it. I love it too.
Man, I need to buy a LaMelo. I sold off because I thought it was gonna drop. Anyway, I think there's something to DFS with NFTs. Have you guys played on So Rare, like the soccer one? But it's really cool because like you enter your NFTs and you can win prizes. It's like I actually prefer for DFS soccer compared to
it's almost like if Moment Ranks fantasy game was like the whole thing, you know, like you had to buy from there. So Rare is pretty cool. I just don't know anything about soccer.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I probably suck at it because of that. But yeah, I think the interesting thing is in NBA, like the statistical production is so much more consistent than other sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the pitfall is like you have guys like LeBron and Giannis and Durant that are just gonna like consistently put up the highest fantasy scores every single week. So my big question would be, how do you make every moment have a little bit of utility?
I got that. Got that covered for you, Awesemo. Very simple. It's called hard court, which is what Top Shot's doing as a fantasy game. And they haven't released it yet. It's in beta. The idea behind it, from my understanding, and Dream can probably chip in a bit more than I can. He's been in the space a little longer. But basically, these moments, certain moments, if they're a rare moment or a legendary moment, will have a greater effect on the game than a common moment will. So, in theory, the more money that you're putting in, like any other game, whether it's video games, DFS, whatever, in theory, you're going to have potentially greater return. That is the concept anyway. Now, whether or not, when hardcourt comes out, that's a big picture question. How much revenue it really generates for Top Shot, we'll see. But it is going to be very interesting to see where it goes, for sure.
Yeah, I could see a lot of differences with like badge multipliers and things of that nature, and perhaps like, you know, just the relevancy of the actual moment itself. Because if you're going through, let's say, season 3, then maybe the season 3 moments carry a little bit more utility in some game aspect than, you know, season 2 and season 1. But maybe that carries its own kind of historic utility. Like if you had a moment from like the same matchup on a particular given night playing fantasy, stuff like that, they can really gamify. Like I'm just shooting things off the top of my head, but I think that's one really like interesting and fun way that I guess, you know, hardcore at the very least can look at. But from my understanding, Roham was pretty confident that the minute that it would release to the market, straight to number 1. And I don't really disagree with that.
Nice.
Yeah, agreed completely.
All right, so time in the chat for the giveaway.
Cool.
I have to say something. I don't know if I'm getting the stuff on YouTube for people in the chat on YouTube, so this is going to have to be a Twitch-only giveaway. If you were closer on YouTube, then this person DM me, and I got maybe a Top Shot loan or something for you. But I'm pretty sure the winner here is Joseph P. Ramirez, who guessed 44. I will show the Chrome tab with the run number generator, which was 35 or 30. Oh, it was 30. Oh my goodness, I thought it was 35 the whole time. Wait, no, it's a different winner. It's someone had 23, I believe. Hang on. This is
real quick. We're giving away you are giving away a month subscription, right?
Yes. It looks like the real Sweet Lou had 23, which would be 7 away from 30, which would be the winner. Congratulations, Real Sweet Lou. I do feel bad, Joseph P. Ramirez.
What's 1 month running on that, if you don't mind me asking?
Alex?
I think for NFL, it's like either 40 or 50. It's been a little while.
Hey, I can cover the other person you drew. I mean, like that's not a problem at all.
Oh yeah.
If you want to do 2 giveaways, I mean, like, you know, for whoever, like, dude, I'm cool with that. That's not a problem.
All right. Joseph and the Real Sweet Lou, DM me on Twitter, and we'll figure out how this is going to get paid for. I'm assuming you have a Venmo or a PayPal or something like that I can just give you the money, and then you can. Well, actually, I have to see some sort of proof that you bought it, so we'll figure it out.
I got you guys. I can make a promo code that they can use.
All right, you want to just DM me that?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Are you sure? I mean, like, because I'm not a problem, man. I mean, like, dude, I'm gonna buy one myself. So
No. I'm not saying. Alex, I don't want you to pay for it. I'm just saying if you can figure out how I can get it to them.
I mean, like, I can create a membership on my account. So I got these guys, and I appreciate you guys supporting the website.
Oh wow, thanks, man. That's freaking awesome. Look at that. What a
Awesemo
legend.
is very awesome.
bro, that's what's up, man. Respect, man. Respect.
I really wanted to go through just a couple of my favorite. Awesemo's Twitter account to me is hilarious, and I think that you either get it or you don't. It's like I think a lot of people probably see his tweets and are like, "What is he talking about?" Or just kind of. They're just so funny to me. I copied a couple down. I just wanted to show this one here. I like this. These are all recent. But there's 7.6 billion people and only 10,000 people with CryptoPunks. We should beat them up and take their punks. I agree.
I like that.
Fair.
I agree. It's time to rebel. So this girl here, Katie Bell, I don't know if you know who she is. She is gorgeous. Like she's really, really good looking girl. And I think that's all she does is tweet pictures of herself and stuff. But it says, girls always want to show me their boobs. I don't know why, but I'm mad about it. And Awesemo says same, except guys in their DFS lineups. But this one here was my favorite because after Trey Lance had a horrible start to his preseason in the first game, it says, me and all my friends excited to draft Trey Lawrence after his phenomenal game today. They're out of frame just as stoked. I don't know why. I love this Twitter account. What are you drinking there?
My fiance wants. Oh, this is in the picture. I had an old fashioned. Like this is an old picture. I just kind of like.
Put it in there for.
Yeah, I was trying to find.
See, this looks like Vegas back here.
Yeah, but what kind of old fashioned though? We drinking rye whiskey? What are we like classic old fashioned? The people need to know.
I'm not like such a connoisseur that I order it with like a specific like bourbon or anything.
I sense a bit of humility. I sense a bit of humility. That's what I sense. All
right. Well, listen, Alex, I don't want to. I mean, if you want to stay, you can, but I know you got to go. You're a busy man. Those projections don't invent themselves. I know you're constantly grinding with the website as well as your own play, as well as your own lineup. So, listen, man, I really appreciate you coming in. People in the chat, awesemo.com. Check it out. It's not going to make you money automatically, but it's going to help you make your own money, and it's done it for me for years. So that's all I can say about it.
Thanks, guys. It was awesome hanging out.
All right, man. Anytime you want to come in, every Sunday at 9.
Awesome.
Stop on by.
All right, later, guys.
All right, peace. Thanks so much.
Later, bro.
Bro, could you only imagine, Aaron, if we got to pick his brain a little more about the analytics that he uses, to do what he does? I mean, like, I kid you not, I'm going to go buy your fantasy football subscription just to do DFS. That's going to be my next thing. Like, NFTs, like, I'm in the Top Shot. I'm all about it. Like, I'm not going anywhere, as far as that's concerned, but that's going to be where I branch out. I'm not going to throw darts at these profile picture projects. No, I want to learn. I want to know, like, dudes like that I'll give you an example. The guy sells his information as a consultant to NFL teams. His master thesis at MIT was how NBA players interacted with each other on the court. And that thesis contained at least 800-900 pages worth of algorithms. So people are able to quantify this behavior. I'm not a dumbass. Like, I mean, I can be. Let's just get that out of the way. But that being said,
we're all dumbasses in our own way. We are.
But writing my own algorithms. I mean, like, I'm not going to be on that level. But somebody like, and I think that's that dude right there. And so
I was when I was teaching, I always told my students, you got to be one of three things. It's best to be all three, but you got to be one of three things. You got to be really, really, really smart, because if you're really smart, you can just figure stuff out and go from there. You got to work really, really, really hard, because if you work really hard, you just outwork everybody. I think Awesemo, definitely has those first two. But then the third one is, if you don't have those two, you got to be really, really, really nice to everybody. Because if you are, then those smart, hardworking people will help you out in life. And I I try to, I feel like I'm a little bit of the first one, sometimes the second one, but definitely the third one. Like I've always just tried to. I've always felt human connections were how that have always helped me. And
real talk. I just wanted to get this out of the way, and I want to leave the floor to the new gentleman. First off, cool Cats jersey for the win. But am I allowed to refer to y'all as Magic Mike? Is that like okay? Is that
yeah?
Because I mean, like, first off, I mean, what I heard last night from Mike was just damn near mind bending as far as just his interpretation of NFTs and his approach in the space. And then I get stuck in a chat that Mr. Rock Dog has involved me in, and I don't get to check on it every once in a while, but and then I chime in and I'm like, oh, Magic's dropped some truth bombs along with a lot of really witty shit. And so I honestly would love to leave the floor to y'all and can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, it Dream, you go first, and then we'll jump in.
Well, I don't know. No, actually, you know what? Why don't you take the floor, because I believe this is more of your territory, I would say.
I mean, yeah, it's
let it rip.
So no worries. So first off, that Spaces the other night was fantastic. Really, really good conversation.
Thanks. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. I agree.
As far as Top Shot goes, my entry point into Top Shot was like, I think I would argue 70% of where Top Shot is now, which is late February. So I caught the boom after the Brian Windhorst article. Now, mind you, I'd had a couple friends who were in Top Shot about a month earlier, and they had really been pushing me, and I'd kind of just been ignoring them because I didn't fully understand the space yet. And I didn't really comprehend the concept, if I'm being honest with myself. So I jumped in February, lost a little bit of money, nothing crazy, but thankfully not as much as others, but enough. And I've just been really pack lucky over the past couple months. I won a legendary. Unfortunately, got a Knowton legendary, which is what it is. Nothing you can do about that. Although it is kind of funny because I sold it in the challenge, fully expecting it to go down, and now with the most recent pump, I think it's about where I sold it for. I think I sold it for about 800. I think it's at like 750 now. So it is what it is. Market's going to market, as Chugs and Bugs would say.
Love Chugs.
Yeah, man, it's been a pretty incredible journey. I'm up like, I don't know, $3,000, something like that, which given where I was in February, March is a pretty big change to say the least. But I'm feeling pretty good about where we are. I think Top Shot's in the best place it's been in a long time, not just in terms of the money, but I think in terms of the market stability.
Now there are some who are saying that this recent pump is kind of maybe a coordinated artificial pump. Yes, and I haven't. I'm actually checking I hadn't checked my account today. I'm checking it right now, but I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I honestly don't care if it is or not, because like I always say, I'm here for the long term. So it doesn't really matter.
What's an artificial pump, though? I mean, like everybody keeps asking when marketing.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as like this particular topic is concerned, I don't know. There was a dilemma today. We were talking in the Nine Lives Lounge, and basically what the discussion was about somebody who bought a Luca and bought 10 of them or 25 of them or something. I can't remember. It was an insane amount of like Luca Cool Cats. So we're talking like a decent amount of money that they bought when like the market had tanked. So it went down to like $500, and then he bought like 10 or 20 of them, and then it became all of a sudden $800-900, and now you know where it's at. It's like at $1,600 and hovering around there. So he made a nice play, but there's people out there who say, hey, that's kind of like, dirty. It's artificial. Like Cool Cats are creating their own pump of the moment and whatnot. And so to me, I don't really buy that particular argument. In fact, I actually respect that move. And it's like any market that's out there, right? Like if you buy 10 shares of this and, it's just, this is how this stuff works. So I think this is what we want. The interesting question, and I guess I'll present that out there because I'm interested to hear you guys' takes. I admire what you guys have to say in general with Top Shot. So excited to be here for that. But, what about the idea of taking that 25 and putting it back in the market? Is that something that people should be worried about? But before we get to your answers, I will say that a Cool Cats mechanism, 30 for 30 holding, protects that. So one thing to keep in mind.
So I'll let Rock and Torque take this in a second, but my thought.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. I want to hear from you.
So this presents a really interesting conundrum because, look, I'm not a math guy by any stretch of the imagination. Full disclosure, basically failed my college math class, basically C- at best, let's be honest. But, you know, the interesting thing about it from math perspective on any moment, let alone the Luka, is basically when we have like X amount of moments that are listed, that's what's going to create our prices, right? So that low ask is basically just a function of whatever profit or loss the lowest denominator person is willing to take. So whether it's a pump or not, whether it's quote unquote artificial, is I think it's a difficult conversation because the reality is what you're really saying is there's a bunch of people buying out the floor and that people aren't going to be able realistically to get some of those numbers if they list at that lowest floor, because there's only so many people who are willing to spend on $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 moments. So while if this person did put 20 moments out, let's say at $1,500, it would just create a stable floor of $1,500. Now the question becomes, how many people are willing to buy that moment? That's what it comes down to. And if there are enough people willing to buy those moments at those prices, then it works. So who cares? But like the reality is that's kind of that dividing line, I think, for people. And by the way, this whole concept applies to legendaries and rares as well. Like with legendaries, there's only a certain market. Not everyone's going to be able to sell a fucking legendary for $250,000. It ain't happening every day. So while someone may have that in theory price, it's not in reality until that money's in your pocket or in Dapper's pocket for that matter. So
It's still good.
These are realized and unrealized gains. And while it's great to look at your moment ranks account and be like, damn, I'm up, I'm in the green, baby. The reality of that shit is it's not real till it's in your pocket. So if you want to make a market decision, make a market decision. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here with like telling me what you really think may or may not happen.
No, that's what's up. That's what's like.
I could be wrong.
Just like Jarvis Landry, I like the passion. It's great.
Well, I mean, but real talk though. I mean, like we're still in the data gathering phase. It's still. I mentioned it to Rock Dog here a few days ago. We're still in the wild west of this shit. I mean, like it's literally like, you know, what I appreciate about Top Shot is that they seem to be collecting as much data as they can in the limited amount of time they have with expectations going way out of control and trying to figure out what to do with that data and trying to figure out how to give utility to certain moments and allow new users to come on and feel like they're gonna gain something by it, but also while making sure like people like me who got it in February aren't stuck with bags that at the end of the day, like, dude, I'll hold my bags all day long. I'm not going to sell at a loss. Like if that's what it is what it is. But I'm also a huge basketball nerd. Hey, bro, I'm not thinking a few months down the road. I'm about this basketball life. All right, it's years down the road, and we talked about it on Spaces last night. You know, about like why is Chris Paul's lowest ask moment $5 for his 10,000 career assists? That blows my mind. Like that stuff is insane to me. And so I think that long term, what I've seen personally at a kiosk in Las Vegas, and what I've seen as far as, you know, what they're trying to do to generate this kind of like, dude, I've got 10 bowl moments that I will not sell because I was at that game.
Don't get me kicked off Twitch for insider trading. Don't do that.
No, well, yeah. but no, I mean, like there's some sentimentality to that aspect of it. And I think that, you know, your casual fans that I saw had no idea what Top Shot was in Vegas. They were like, wait, what? Wait, I can do what now in a game? And I can, and my players, and, you know, I can have moments and, you know, like virtual trading cards. Dude, brilliant. I mean, so I'm mad bullish on Top Shot. I honestly wish the market would dip down lower so I could just buy more.
I'm the sucker. I'm the sucker that like just collects guys that I like, and I collect all-stars, and I like them. Like I like my moments. I like to watch them. I like to scroll through them. I still wish I could click and drag and organize them for If anyone from Top Shot is watching, but like I enjoy them. So if they all of a sudden became worthless, yeah, it would kind of suck to lose some money. But I'm buying something that I like. Unlike a lot of NFT projects where people are buying strictly for the flip, they're buying for the money, and you can't tell me they're not. When you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for a profile picture that 10,000 other people can have, like it's you know.
I would really love to hear what Mike and Magic have to say about this because, as I'm sure you know, Big Lou. Excuse me, my apologies. Big Lou mentions like collectibles versus what do you want to flip, and what is Top Shot to you at the end of the day? You know, is it part both? Are you just trying to go after your grails as far as like your favorite basketball moments if you're a basketball fan, or are you trying to flip? I'm not really sure where we're at with that, and I'd love to hear what y'all have to say about it.
So I'm definitely a collector in this space. I am, I rarely sell. Sometimes I will to go buy another moment I potentially want, but generally speaking, my trading activity has pretty much stopped. The only place that I was buying and selling were in challenges because I straight up just love to like watch the market go up, go down, and you're transacting quickly. And, that's why the WNBA stuff is just so cool because it's just that market dynamic that I think not enough people take, can take the gamification of it and talk about that enough, how much fun it is to actually buy something and say, man, I really hope this hits so that I can, get the rest of this challenge. So for me, that aspect I'm kind of missing. I remember when Top Shot used to have like 10 of those challenges at once, but now for my sake, it's kind of like what you're talking about. And I think that aspect of it was what I took the most from Awesemo, is that he likes to look at algorithms and he's studying human behavior that way, right? And so I think for certain types of collectors, you might find a correlation between those types of people. For me, I'm all about studying human behavior from a more personal level, like hearing what you guys have to say about your answers and just being able to kind of guide. And I let that kind of guide my behavior as well, because the more people that feel confident about the collecting aspect of it, it makes me feel more bullish on the future. Like you said, Twerk, as soon as more basketball fans come, just like thinking like I do and like you do, then it's just a matter of time before supply is not really an issue anymore. And your supply demand mechanics, it's all going to change anyway, because Roham said it, S3 is going to have more than S2. And the rumor out there is that S2 moments, like the $3 and $5 ones, are going to have more towards your collector score than other seasons. So that's very interesting. Not financial advice, but for me at the very least, I kind of agree with you. I want the market to tank so I can start loading up on that base collection, because that seems like the holy grail to get every pack that you can possibly get. And we all know that packs have been plus EV -1, but I just love having them and seeing that green in my account. I'll never see the money probably, but I love it. See you at the games.
Hey man, from a random outsider's perspective, right? I had somebody lash out at me on Twitter, as haters tend to do, about WNBA moments aren't worth this or whatever, and blah blah blah. My dad was with me, in Vegas for my birthday, and he did not have a Top Shot account at the time. He signed up, got his moments, and then he signed up for a WNBA pack and got one. And he's an old school. I mean, he's just a basketball guy. I mean, like, he was so shocked that there were more than 50,000 people lined up to buy a pack of WNBA moments.
Yes.
And that's it right there.
Yes. That's what it's all about, man.
So I think there's some really interesting components to what Dream said. First and foremost, I think there's ways to look at doing Top Shot. I think the first thing is collect what you like. I think that should be a baseline for everyone at the end of the day. The second is, yeah, you'd like to make some money, but it's not the be all end all. For some people it is. For me, it's not. Whatever. And then I think the third part of this that's interesting, as far as the S2 stuff goes, particularly like that Chris Paul moment we talked about, I'm a bit more leery on like where long-term, how many fans jump in. Look, the reality is, we all say when marketing, but like this will take time. Adoption is not a linear path. At the end of the day, this is going to a little bit like the stock market, it's going to go up and down.
You don't hire marketing people and then like 2 weeks later have this huge marketing campaign already. It just doesn't work like that. You have to. It takes time.
And look, everyone who works for Dapper is public. And as I said this in the spaces the other night, we know their backgrounds. They're all NFL marketing people. They're not coming here to dick around and make a salary. They're here to make a ton of money in a tech company that last time I checked, not just is a $1 billion company, but over the last 18 months has generated over $400 million in investment into them. So in terms of that big picture, yes, they will get growth. How many daily active users they have? Super interesting question that we don't really know. We have a baseline of it based on the WNBA drop and some of the other drops. But we don't really know like day to day how many people are actually using the site, which are like really important metrics in terms of determining from a marketplace perspective where things are and where they're going to go.
I like Steve is his name on Twitter, @Steve. He provides some good data. He provides some good data in that regard as far as new users. That I usually try to follow that through him, but it's still hard to tell. I mean,
well, even when you're acquiring new users, that doesn't mean those users are using every day. They may go to the site.
My wife's a user. She hasn't been on there in 3 or 4 months.
Right. So like I said, so this is going to take some time to get something like a Chris Paul 40K moment up from $3 to $4 to $7 or $10. Who knows where those numbers are going to go? But I am bullish on where Top Shot is and where it will go. But I just want to let people know that, like, not financial advice, to be very clear. And I love using that phrase because I think it's hilarious for us to do it. But I think that you need to be careful about, like, understanding the process, because this is a process and we're talking about a tech company, though it's worth $1 billion. The reality is there's really only 100,000 users pretty regularly. And that's where things get really interesting.
What do they call it? Being sticky in the marketplace, right? Isn't that what they call like staying on there? Like that's me. Like I'll go in that marketplace. If I enter that marketplace, I'm gonna be in there I'm gonna be in there for a while.
Yeah,
for sure.
But before, let's just say, okay, go back to when you were thinking about, okay, the NBA finals are over. Okay, Giannis has his ring. The Greek Freak did his thing. J. Rue Holiday, whatever. What did you think the market? It's kind of a multi-pronged question. Did you think the market was going to dip, or are you kind of like, wait a minute, I didn't realize they were going to stimulate the market the way they could have with the summer league and with the WNBA? And if that's going to be the answer to the question, in my humble opinion, is could you only imagine what they're going to do to start season or the next season? I mean, like as far as drawing in new users and the Asia Wilson moment, notwithstanding, as far as like, hey, here's a free $200 if you can sell this at the right time. Just create an account and here you go. Part of me feels like that was a trap. They're trying to figure out bots and whatnot, which is awesome. But either way, I'm very, very bullish on the start of next season, and whether or not they come out of beta at that point, I don't know. But I'd like to think some really good things are ahead of us.
Man, Rib is going to change the whole game. I mean, when we talk about, NBA Top Shot, I mean, what they were doing was exactly what you were saying. They were testing us in a lot of ways. We're still in beta. So, okay, people that are buying team sets, they're not buying that because they feel like spending all that money. They're actually teams or fans of the team and like their premise, their hypothesis is that I'm going to be treated like an exclusive member when they have that Top Shot suite. Not enough people talk about how the pandemic may have thrown like a wrench in there to, for NBA to put a couple booths here and there and maybe just kind of test out the waters with certain fan bases. But they fought through that. And then there's also the argument too out there that it kept a lot of us at home. And so maybe NBA Top Shot doesn't get to where it is if, the pandemic doesn't hit. So I think that question is going to always be ultimately really interesting. But where NBA Top Shot is going in the future, I think there's one thing that we can all agree on. It's that you can try to predict their next step, but they just take it in so many different directions. That's what makes it so fun and interesting to me. So
Right.
I think Rib is going to be, that's going to change the game because we're really going to have a dynamic there. And I know we've talked about it many times, Rock Doggy, like in our chats, like what's going to happen to the valuation of that in the future. Some people are worried. I feel like Top Shot has gotten it right so many times up until now. Let's just keep waiting. La Liga's coming. That's Dapper Labs. I mean, we're really just talking about
La Liga is the most underrated part of Dapper.
Oh my God,
that's out there. It's a huge license.
Awesemo talked about it. I said Awesemo talked about how much he likes soccer and whatnot. Like, there's a whole utility component here too to like gamify it. It's crazy. It's going to be insane.
Well, I mean, what I love about Top Shot is, for the first time that I can recall, with the Asia Wilson moment, as far as like, okay, hey, create a new account, we're going to airdrop this to you. They don't tell you that. They're like, nope, we took a snapshot of your account at this point in time, whether we told you about this contest or not, and we're rewarding true collectors. And I mean, like, that to me is why I completed, like, as I'm sure you saw on Twitter, like, I mean, I'm a Mavericks fan, like, respect, but I live in Denver now. At the same time, like, dude, I can't afford Dirk Nowitzki. I can't afford Sean Marion's running back. But what I could afford was the Denver Team Nuggets set based on RJ. Look, man, I can't wait to see what they've got going on. Kiosks in every arena, like giving access to certain users, you know, moments that are like one of ones based on your collector score, based on your fandom score. I mean, like, this is like I'll go back to the Roham quote, and as you said, like, we don't know where they're going with this. We never really do because they like to throw curveballs, right? But what Roham like to say is that this is going to be the currency of NBA fandom. Yep. And that to me right there, that says it all.
I know Pseudo Game is in the chat. That's his favorite phrase. Is that it's the currency of fandom. I'm sure he'll be able to comment about that. Hey, I like this comment here by the Real Sweet Lou. It says, I think that's what makes Top Shot fun. Collect what you like and get some wins by flipping some. And you know, that's what I do with packs. You know, when I get a pack, I look at the guys that I have. The guys that I like, I keep. The other ones I flip. I've sold a lot of my collection on Top Shot, but I've never withdrawn a cent from Top Shot because I just put it right back in to different players that I like. So, you know, I'm a long-term hodler. I was so happy to hear that Hardcourt is going to be a VR game because if anyone knows me and my connection to like House of Kiba, and I just think the Oculus Quest and VR is like the future. This is how I knew it made it when I had my own troll. Pseudo Game says currency of fandom is bullshit. Well, it might be, and I will say this: that I always say it. Pseudo Game is really, really smart, and he does really good job crushing NFTs. And I'm glad to have him as a friend, but we just don't see eye to eye on Top Shot, and that's fine. I actually like the fact that he stretches my mind and makes me think in different ways about, you know, critical thinking is like America's like biggest deficit in my mind, and the lost art of debate without hating each other is like something that we just don't do anymore. It's like if you disagree on one topic, then you can't even talk to each other anymore.
Can I just you know, this is the last time I'll mention this shit, I promise, Aaron. I swear to God, I promise. The currency, if the currency of fandom is bullshit, then what I experienced in Vegas without having won the VIP stuff and having been shown so much love from the upper echelon of the Top Shot community that was there, and the VIP winners, then you know what? I'll respectfully disagree. Let's just put it that way. That the currency of fandom is not bullshit. It's very real, and they have some very, very real plans to implement that in the future. I got very lucky in my experience, but that being said,
don't get me kicked off for insider trading.
No, hey, wait. Look, the point is that we all like, dude.
See, like, okay, so this is a good point from Pseudo Games. 95% of users with valuation below 1K, not good for long-term prospects. My argument to that is, if you rope in the NBA fans, it doesn't matter if 95% of the accounts are under a 1K. If you have 5 million accounts, 10 million accounts, you know what I mean, or more.
Well, it gets back to this daily active users thing, right? It gets back to how many people are truly active in the community, and I think both sides can be right at the end of the day. So, I don't think it's bullshit, but it's a great marketing phrase. It really is. It's a great phrase.
What's the phrase?
The reality of that. It's the currency of fandom.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a great phrase, good marketing.
It is good. It's good
relates.
marketing. I mean, a guy just asked me how much did it cost me to get a moment in Vegas, and I did not realize at the time that every day you went there, I thought they were going to be 10 random moments. Like they allowed you to buy a max of 10 that day, and they were $5 a piece. And so I was sitting down at a steakhouse with my dad, and he's like, "Well, I only bought 5," and I'm like, "Well, why the hell did you do that? Should have bought 10." Anyway, it was R.J. Hampton 5 times over, and we flipped those. I mean, and I got 10 of those R.J. Hamptons, and I mentioned to Aaron, I was like, I guess this is what it felt like in February. For everybody who had $5 moments, flipping them for like $200-$250.
Sweet Lou makes a good point. So, Dream, what do you think about? So, I'll get back to Sweet Lou's comment here, but what do you think about Pseudo Game's statistic, which is true? I would assume he's a smart guy. He wouldn't make it up. That 95% are under 1K. He says it's not good for long-term prospects.
So, I mean, I just think you could look at that side of the argument for sure. That's going to be out there, but what you have right now on the other direction is a very active user base of people willing to spend a lot of money. So we crossed $1 billion valuation, and I say we because we're a part of that active user base. So with that potential cap, and you have to remember that at one point when there were more active daily users, that was a lot of NFT people that came to Top Shot, and then since then have gone off to other NFTs. So in that way, we have to think about their journey because they benefited from Top Shot. Maybe not on the platform itself, but in terms of, handling the technology and actually, that right there. And, I put this in Twitter and, I'll preface it. I know a lot of people lost money in Top Shot, but to me, I don't feel like it's talked about enough how Top Shot was really the gateway towards a lot of people becoming apes, a lot of people becoming Cool Cat NFT holders and Doge Pound and all that stuff. So, you may not have won on NBA Top Shot, so to speak.
Housekeeper.
Yeah, Housekeeper too. Oh, that's a great one. I missed out on that one. But yeah, it's that right there isn't talked about enough. So I think you have to also look at the potential of the technology. Like what we thought was possible with fandom is just barely even being tapped into. We haven't even gotten into VR yet, right? Showcases is just this random, ugly, little thing that you go into and click around. For me, that's kind of where they can start experimenting a bit more.
My dream is that Top Shot and Kiba, align forces. Kiba's museum, the VR museum that he's created, created, is so unbelievably good, and the detail is so good. And I wouldn't put it past them to.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying is exactly what you have to think about. If NBA, it's not just NBA Top Shot now. There are companies like Moment Ranks, Live Token. These are actual companies with investors that pooled so much money into them. Right? They're not just throwing that money away like we would on a Top Shot moment just because we think it's cool. No, it's people that are actually running through the numbers and saying, hey, we believe in this company as a third-party company that's not even affiliated with NBA Top Shot. All NBA Top Shot has to say is, hey, we're going to have a whole base now of our third-party supporters and all these separate channels and just start to take everything and just lump it into one big not a monopoly, but it's really just you can take the technology in so many different ways. It's just I don't even think we've even scratched the surface. But that active user base, it's all there.
So to DreamShake's point, we have an ecosystem in place, which I think is some of the difference between February.
Hang on, something's going on, guys. That people are saying they can't see us, and I'm looking at the little amount of people watching. It says 0. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm going to get on Twitch here and see.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but
everything looks good now. I can see we're back here. Everything's good.
Smush says we're back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think they missed my little rant there, but it's all good. You guys can take it away.
It was good.
No, we want to hear. No.
Good.
Recreate that rant right now.
Actually wanted to bring up what Sweet Lou says in the chat. He says, if you're under $1,000, are you looking for long term? I would think yes. If you put $200, $300 in, you're clearly not looking for a big flip. You're buying stuff maybe for your son or yourself. Maybe you went to a game and decided to come home and you FOMO'd into a couple moments. I think the future of Top Shot is kind of like the Bernie Sanders. And this isn't a Bernie Sanders endorsement, please. I don't want to hear the political shit. But it's kind of like the Bernie Sanders fundraising model. Get a ton of people to pay a little bit. You know what I mean? And that he was the number one fundraiser by getting $5 donations. Top Shot's the same way. Now people are got to donate a lot more than $5, but the masses are within the NBA fandom. And the masses aren't going to be spending thousands and thousands on Top Shot like maybe some of us have, but they're going to want to go to a game and mint some moments for their kids and, you know, have a little collection, just like some of us had a little collection of baseball cards with our dads when we were younger. And there's so many NBA fans that still have no clue what Top Shot is. I still estimate it's over 90%.
Oh yeah, I onboarded my friend. Huge fan. He's about to drop a lot of money in here. So, I mean, he caught the bug. Like, it only took him a day for him to do it. He's like, I'm late to the party. But, I mean, I've onboarded several people, and I'm going to start introducing these people more and more to get their perspective and start sharing that. But, yeah, take it away, Mike.
And, of course, with all the real quick, Magic Mike, and, of course, with all the low-end users, you will have high-end NBA fans as well. Like, you know, we think the crypto witch whales are big-time players. Well, wait till a hedge fund manager comes in here.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what's the beauty of Top Shot?
Collective.
Well, that's a loaded question.
I mean, like,
it is loaded. No, but
pack.
Well, I mean, but it's like you've got the fan experience, and then for me, let me just cut through the bullshit. I think the beauty of what's going to happen in the future and the next big investments, in my humble opinion, are. And where Top Shot's way ahead of the game, especially if you've interacted with the interface, is the blockchain technology and how transparent it is, you know, and what companies, like you saw Visa bought a CryptoPunk the other day. Okay, cool. We'll leave that to the side for right now. But at what point do businesses understand the value of having their information produced in a chronological order that is easily verifiable by anybody who wants to invest? If that's what they want or whatever the case may be. But, and I know I'm going way abstract with this, but I think that's kind of where we're at with this. And that's what I think Top Shot is going to introduce a lot of investors to, is like, wait a minute, it's not just about these moments that are, you know, NBA licensed and whatnot, but what companies are understanding of how to present their data in a very transparent manner, and why that presents value to whether they're investors or whatever the case may be going forward.
Yeah, no, I think what you're saying right there with the data aspect, like, for sure, that's one of those things that I don't think a lot of people also take that into account as well. You know, for some of the people that may have been cut off for my point earlier about the, you know, under 10% or 5% of accounts are spending X amount of money, or 1,000 under 95%, that base right there of data, human behavior, imagine that you're a company that wants to buy that. How valuable would that be out there to the people who carried this NBA platform to $1 billion cap? Okay? That's human behavior. That's data. That is gold. And Dapper is taking that and putting it into different products, right? La Liga, like we're talking about now, extrapolating global data, you know, from people that are soccer fans and the intersection between that and basketball fans. Or how about the ones who don't care about either one but are looking for a speculative, like, you know, bubble market? So like traders, just like they do with collectibles, with any collectible. I mean, this is a whole new game, because it's the transparency, exactly what you're saying. The transparency is going to be the key to this, because that's a digital signature, and as more valuable people own it, that moment may be more valuable, not just because of the moment, but because who owned it before. So wait for that to go and change. We haven't even tapped into that. But then, you know, you also have just the fact too that it's the data, like, and they're going to keep using it and putting it in the different places and seeing what catches and what doesn't, and they're building a whole entire world around it. So it's exactly what you're saying, Rock Dog. It's a whole, you know, we can't even conceptualize it because we don't have the data in front of us. So yeah,
look at the floor for WNBA moments, $15.
Yeah,
so,
15 is the floor. That's good.
So, DreamShake's point is as good of a point as I've heard in the Top Shot community. It's so, to go a little broad here.
That's why we love them.
That are maybe in and around the tech space. Do you guys know where Amazon makes about 25 to 40% of its revenue? It's not off us idiots buying Amazon Prime. It's off AWS.
It's from their web service. It's web services.
I was gonna say penny slots in Vegas, but whatever.
Well, I mean,
web
hey,
services.
Look, we've all been there. And by the way, that's basically what most PFP projects are, depending on what you're really doing. But hey, that's another conversation for another day.
Basically, web space, right?
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, no, Amazon Web Services, AWS. Same with Google. Google
it's more than 40%. I think it's more than 40%, honestly. I do.
Look, so data is I think a secondary effect for Dapper. It may be a primary thing in terms of the way that they're marketing it to partners, but in terms of our user experience, it's probably a bit more of a secondary thing. To be in terms of being front facing, but in terms of kind of the ripple effects of Dapper and the long term experience in Top Shot and Flow, we're just starting in that part of it. So like we are exceptionally early. LG had a tweet the other day that resonated with me, where basically he was saying, if you missed out on Bored Apes, or you missed out on Cool Cats or Gutter Cats or whatever project, and you're seeing your friends make, generational wealth, cheer them on, but also know that you're still really early in all of this. And the knowledge that you've gained already will push you forward to the next thing. And that really is the most important thing.
I say it all the time that if I could just invest in Flow directly without it being shady, I would. Hey, I want to give away this Nikola Jokic right here. Someone in the chat for hanging out with us tonight.
Do it.
So,
how are you giving it away?
Well, I think I don't know. Oh, we could do Name That Tune.
I'm all for that. Whatever. I mean, somebody's got to earn it. That's all I'm saying.
It can't be a random number.
If you really want to do a random number, I can't. Argue
it's so
with that.
boring. The problem with random numbers is it's so boring. You know what my favorite description of Jokic ever was? It was some writer described him that he looks like he's playing in flip flops. Doesn't he?
No, that's it. That's it right there.
He looks like the
perfect.
dude in the driveway game that's dominating, but in like his slides.
He has the classic old man game,
and he chose to play in the slides. They're like, "You want to put on your Nikes?" He's like, "Nah, I'm playing my flip flops. I got this."
Please I'll tell you that tune. Chewy will win. All right, everybody. In the, I'll think of one tune that someone's got to know. In the chat, name the tune or random number. Just pick one or the other, and
come on, chat room. There. Come on, chat room. I got.
We'll give away the Nicola. Mike says,
"They want to name the tune. You got to give away the tune.
Name the tune. Random tune.
No, it's
random. Oh, it's going back and forth.
It's. I kind of like. You know what? I'm going to throw my vote in here.
Hey, Dream. Let me ask you a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you stream through like a Twitch? I can never figure out how to raid. I stream through StreamYard. And I can never figure out how to raid when I'm done.
Yeah, I haven't done a raid myself. I'm gonna do one for Jimbo on Thursday. I'm probably just gonna run some random stream that day. I've got to figure out what I'm doing apart from my normal Wednesday broadcast. But I'll be doing that for the first time. I do use the native Twitch program. I will get on StreamYard at some point because it's pretty cool what you can do and the effects that you can add. But I don't know myself from here how you do it. But you may be able to do it from the Twitch interface on the website. I would say that would be my guess from their web interface. Go there, and then you can maybe raid from your channel, from your account if you go to channel settings.
Okay. Yeah, I broadcast from StreamYard, and then if I put Twitch on the computer that I'm broadcasting from, I get horrible echoes, and I just can't do it.
Gotcha.
Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Is that a song? I don't know what that is. All right, maybe we'll just do. The problem last time with the name the tune is I'm older than most, 90% of the people in the chat. So all the stuff that I know how to play and that I grew up with, no one knows. And then I thought I played a couple ones that people should know a little bit. No, I'm not going to play any Tony Orlando. Feet times a Mayday. Awesome Mary, that's hilarious because I love Eddie Murphy and I love Saturday Night Live, and Feet Times a Matey is a great reference that most people here have no clue probably. Oh yeah, and Chewy Wolf, thanks for reminding me. The other problem is that I'm not that good, which actually makes it more fun because that's the fun part about it is because I'm not that good. All right, fuck it, we're gonna do the guitar.
No, that's crazy because you mentioned that Eddie Murphy SNL reference, and all I could think was too hot in the hot tub.
I love that.
Good God.
Nice.
I love Eddie Murphy so much. This guitar is in drop D, so all right, I know what I can play. This is a song people should know. It is from my era, but people should know it. The problem is also the guitar doesn't sound right on the stream because
Do I win if I guess it?
It's because I play it so well. That's why it doesn't come across. Okay, gonna make me sweat. Yes, Austin Mary.
Yeah.
Should I get in the hot tub? Yeah. Wanna make me wet? Yeah. You might have to play that. All right. Name this tune. Whoever names the tune in the chat, you got a name. Tell you what, we'll just do the band. Just the band. Make it easy. You get the joke. Ready?
Oh, come on. You have to know this. You have to know it.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to do this because I know it.
Oh my god, no, you guys.
Come on.
Here we go.
God, there it is.
There it is.
There we
God,
go.
dude.
Push.
Everlong, come on, guys.
Dude, I was, honestly, I was gonna send you a direct message to be like heart-shaped box from Nirvana. Just to do like a stripped down version of it because I think that would be like really freaking dope, man. But
You know the little
congrats to the Foo Fighters, man. That's what's up.
Fighters, a couple
Foo
people
Fighters.
that one.
No,
So,
Foo Fighters, that's what's up, man. That's
Smush. I'm very technical here. I write down the names. Put your Top Shot name in the chat.
so. Just out of curiosity,
What's wrong with you people, by the way? Smashing Pumpkins, Pearl Jam? Come on, guys.
Highway, cuidado.
I mean, come on.
People are just-
I've seen all of these bands, but come on, guys.
Hey, I'll go ahead and date myself. So I turned 40 a few weeks ago.
No way.
Oh, Smush is Sea Bear. Oh, sorry. It's my
What?
dude. Cool.
What are your favorite bands? Like if you had to like to me, Dave Grohl is the quintessential rock star of our generation. If you could think of any other, like Eddie Vedder's there, but he's a little bit before. But like, I'm curious to hear your opinion.
Rocky. You
Oh,
go first.
my favorite band of all time is Pearl Jam, without question. I've been to over 20 Pearl Jam concerts. I just love Pearl Jam. I also really like Fish. I love Dave Matthews, but I also really I'm a big hip hop fan. So I love A Tribe Called Quest. I love Outkast.
Who's okay?
Sorry, I might not have heard the question. I was
No, you're good. No, I'm gonna evolve the question, and I'm curious because it's I'm having fun with this. Like, not necessarily the quintessential rock star of our generation, which I would consider to be Dave Grohl, but yet we have the hip hop influence as well. But what voices? Like, I would think Chuck D as well is thrown in there. But and it's totally subjective. There's no wrong answer. But I would love to know what you guys think about, like, I mean, for me, I would say Zach De La Rocha with Rage Against the Machine is like by far and away like my favorite.
For me, it's Eddie Vedder, without question.
So, my person, it's really going to be like kind of cliche, maybe mainstream, but the fact of the matter is that I saw them in concert probably about 4 or 5 times, and I was thankful to because the lead singer passed away, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park.
Wow.
Absolutely. I just always loved, I didn't think he was rated enough when we were growing up, just about how eclectic he could make his voice go into different kinds of sounds. If his voice can't transcend into different genres, which I feel like that's what made Linkin Park so cool for me, then I don't know, a voice like that can transcend different styles of music for me is kind of like the name of the game there. So I'm going to go with Chester Bennington.
Linkin Park's great band.
Yeah, that's an excellent choice. I think it depends, and I think it depends on era, right? Because I think as a kid born in the mid '80s, grew up with '90s music, and hip hop was such a massive influence from really starting from '94 for me on. Like, it varies. So I think obviously Foo Fighters is huge. Linkin Park was huge, particularly for the era. I would also go from a hip hop side. Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z. Those are the standards. Tribe.
Yes.
As you get into the OOs, it gets pretty like. So there's that 98 to 02 that's super gangster rap for a minute. which is fine. 50 probably caps that in 03 with the biggest selling music album of all time. And Get Rich or Die Trying. And M and 50, obviously, that's a whole thing, hip-hop wise. I would still argue M is the top 5 MC of all time, but once again, separate conversation, separate time. And then, as we've gotten into, Killers, obviously. Come on now. Solid.
I do like the Killers.
And then for
You guys like the Killers?
Yeah.
Love the Killers, man. Seen them live a couple times.
Nice.
And then as we started getting into the 2010s, personally, my favorite artist of this current generation is The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I fucking adore House of Balloons. I think it is the album that basically set the vibe for most hip-hop and R&B albums from the 2010s. It also features prominently in the biggest selling album of the 2010s, and Take Care, and Drake's Take Care. The Weeknd co-wrote or produced 5 songs on that album. Really just depends on what you're looking for, man.
I got the Tribe tattoo because when I was a kid,
Nice.
honestly, my the tape, we listened to that tape, Low End Theory. My brother, he got his license before me. He's older, and he used to drive, and the tape actually got stuck in the tape player. But we didn't care because it was one of those tape players that it would automatically play the other side without having to eject it. I'm dating myself here. Cassette tapes. And we listened to that tape over and over and over again for, it must have been 2 years. I mean, it was just such a great, the Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Love these vibes. I love to do stuff like this and get to know you guys on a different level. This is real cool, Rock Doggy. Thanks for all this. This is a cool, good vibes.
It is.
Yeah, I got to go to work early. What I'll say is, whoever mentioned, I don't know. I just had some memories jogged. That's all I'm saying. And, got a little emotional about, certain things. And, I appreciate that. I really do. So I can't thank y'all enough, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Love you, man.
Love y'all, bro. Y'all have
awesome,
a great night.
Get some rest.
Later,
I know
man.
you got a long day tomorrow. Peace,
Later,
brother.
Respect,
Great
guys.
meeting you, bro. Yeah,
Love
for sure,
y'all.
man.
Yes, sir.
Give me a text later. Peace.
We'll do.
Later, bro. That's a good dude. That first time I think I got to, I've seen him before, I think, on your last stream, but, that was really awesome getting to know him. He's a real one. We're a group of real ones, right? That's what I like to think.
He's definitely a real one. He's definitely a real one.
Love that.
All right, guys. Well, we've been going now for almost an hour 40. I think I'm going to have to wrap it up here. A lot of people got work in the chat I'm seeing. I've got to get to bed. I got to get up for school in the morning with the girls. I got from my girls, 2 of them leaving. I got, what's that?
I said I got a pack rip, so maybe we can do that. But yeah, what was going on?
We're not going anywhere. We're ripping a pack. What am I talking about? Now, do you know how to? Can you share your screen? I
can.
Okay.
This will be the WNBA, one. So that's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know what I got yet, but I was saving it for your stream because I'm very happy to be on with you. And I always like to do this for my fellow content creators on Twitch because I know how much people love the pack rips.
Pack rips rule.
Yep. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna
try to figure out how to raid someone after this.
All right, share screen. I believe I'll put you guys in this separate window so I can just put this up. And here we go. All right, so WNBA pack.
Oh wait, I gotta get you on here. Boom.
All right.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, chat. Wish me some luck. We're doing
Good
it.
luck. Let's go. Let's go.
Good luck, bro.
WNBA, baby.
Get
Great
some
move by NBA Top Shot.
Get some Griner.
I'm hoping for a Candace Parker.
Parker,
I
yeah.
love Parker. And I
Legend.
love that
I own a
moment.
Candace Parker. It's awesome.
I love that moment. All right, should I drop on the... No, that's too loud. Let's see. Ari McDonald, okay. Oh, I like this one. I really like this one.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice spin layup. Yeah, that's a great move. Great
I
move.
love the original breakdown. She breaks down a defender with the back, with the behind the back. It's really, really nice. All right, cool. I'm gonna lower this a little bit.
No, you don't have to lower it. How do I raise?
All right, Sylvia follows.
Okay.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Blocks are
They're all
underrated,
good.
personally.
They're all good polls.
All right, let's see. Come on, give me that Candace Parker. No, it's okay. This is a cool moment.
Iron
No,
Man.
Vandersloot's
You
good.
can score,
Vandersloot's a good
man.
player. I
Yeah,
think that's probably your best pull right there.
probably right. Not a bad
think
zero
she's-
either.
I think she's good. You know what's cool is, I like the WNBA, but I can't say that I'm a huge fan. But I feel like I'm going to become one through Top Shot. I have 3 young daughters. They're going to want to watch the WNBA, and this is just going to be a great entry for me into the league.
Yeah, totally
especially-
agree.
Sure.
Especially when my former student Jessica Timmons, who's a freshman at NC State this year, gets into the league.
Nice.
Because I'm not kidding you, this girl is a baller. They offered her a full ride to NC State before she stepped foot in 9th grade. She used to ball out, and I went to a school with some pretty good athletes, and she used to ball out against the boys at lunch and just destroy them, and it was awesome to watch.
Yeah, I played basketball in high school, and these girls can hang with just about anyone. We had some of the best ones in our state from my Stranahan High School team back when I was in high school. But yeah, they could do it, and I think that what you said too about us learning a little bit more about the WNBA. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of research into my moments that I have here and the players behind them, and kind of figure that out a bit more because I think these are long-term holds, in my opinion, for
sure,
me at the very least.
100%.
Yeah,
The
if you
other
believe in
thing
NBA
here-
top-
The other thing
And
here
I'll,
is
Go ahead, Mike.
you're going to get a moment airdrop to you on Monday
Oh,
because you
yes,
Yeah.
if you have at least one,
one,
get an
you get
air-
a WNBA moment airdrop to you on Monday.
and then the challenge only requires 5. So
Right.
if you bought a pack, you get 3. If you hold them all, you get the airdrop. You get 4. You only have to buy 1 for the challenge.
yeah,
Which
that's awesome.
I bought. I bought
Not
4
financial.
just so I could do the challenge.
No, but that's so cool. I mean, that's exactly what the NBA is doing with, the NBA Top Shop is doing with the WNBA. I mean, that's going to help, guide a little bit more human behavior. Again, just about how can you adopt, fans behind the WNBA and that license. And to the NBA, that matters a heck of a lot for them because this is, again, just more for the NBA, from a licensing perspective, are definitely interested to see how these moments kind of fluster in the market. Me, I've been watching it and I've been kind of, eyeing a lot of different behaviors, but it's I think it's a great step forward.
I do want to bring up. Chewy says, was it officially announced? To be honest, I had not seen it officially announced, but I saw someone put it on Twitter, and then someone who's like a Discord manager from Top Shot I saw said yes, but I haven't seen it on a blog or anything. Can anyone confirm that airdrop?
Top Shot's. Yeah, I believe Top Shot has unofficially confirmed it. But they haven't put a blog out specifically saying that's what's going to happen.
It's one of 4 moments, right?
Correct. There's 5 moments in that challenge, quote unquote, and 4 of them will be airdropped to you because the 5th one is Aja Wilson.
So Chewy says he saw Pack Drip and Alan Falcon. Doesn't Alan Falcon work with Top Shot?
He works.
Yeah, he does.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he said it on Twitter, that's got to be.
Yeah, that might as well be.
Well, it's not official because I said stuff on Twitter about Kiba before that wasn't official, and I got a slap on the wrist. NDA. So you never know.
Yeah, true. No, but I mean, usually his word is like pretty solid. So it's just it's like AJ Wojnarowski when he goes and tells you something like that breaks from the NBA. It's sometimes
Woj bomb.
Yeah, Woj bomb. Like I kind of take it like that when it comes from those accounts. They could reverse. Teams could always change their mind, but a Woj bomb is a Woj bomb. There's a legitimacy behind it to the thought process, and they're very careful about what they say out there. And so, yeah, I agree with you. You also have to kind of draw the line on what's news and not news. But still, that's interesting to go and hear about that further utility because even if they don't introduce it, they could at some point down the road. They could airdrop moments whenever they want for any collection.
They could. Yeah.
That just goes back to the platform. And I think that this is exactly what Kobe would have wanted. And I think that's kind of the most interesting dynamic to me about these anti-WNBA comments, because I'm going to assume that there are more Kobe fans than not Kobe fans. But yet I saw a lot of people who were really talking trash about the WNBA, and Kobe had a vested interest in making sure that women's basketball got to a whole new level. I think if he would have been alive for further, we would have seen just, I mean, imagine his likeness, with the W. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
I agree. And I will also admit that when I first got in line to buy the pack, my mentality was, I'm going to flip this real quick. Because these are going to be super popular, and it's going to be easy flip and easy profits. And then the more I thought about it, their viewership was up 200% from 2018 to 2019. Now 200% of 100 people doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? But it's still growing. The league still loses money every year, but it's growing quickly, and that's what happens. But the more I thought about it, I thought I don't want to sell these. I haven't sold them. I didn't list any. There's no reason to sell them. They're going to be a long-term hold for me.
Yeah. So just to give you perspective, real quick, just to give you perspective on those viewership numbers that you mentioned. So the most recent numbers that I've pulled up in front of me, and this was through June 1st, they're averaging about 400,000 viewers across ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Now, to give you some perspective on that, your average NBA game, as a ratings perspective, is usually somewhere around, I don't know, depending on your market, because local markets can vary. Your local markets are going to be anywhere between a 2 to a 3, generally. Sometimes as low as a 1.5. But WNBA ratings are usually going to be about a 0.5 or 0.3. So they have a lot of room to grow into that market space. And the other thing that you have to consider is, yes, they've been around 25 years, but now those teams are, in certain markets, making a little bit of money. But more importantly, the players are far more marketable than they were 25 years ago.
If you watch the game 25 years ago, and watch it today, it's a completely different ballgame. Totally different game. It's so much more fun to watch now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You see it in the moments. I mean, except for the Sue Bird moment, I can go on a rant about that all day. Not a fan of that one. I think there's, I don't know, different story for a different day. I'll answer the question, though, about the Chicago Bulls.
Go ahead. Smush wants to know. My guy.
Yeah, so the Chicago Bulls made a very interesting trade recently, they got rid of Lauri Markkanen for Derrick Jones Jr. I think that is a very interesting choice for them to make. One could argue that, this is a good return for what Lauri Markkanen, I guess, his market begs for right now. And there wasn't any room for him to really play himself to be, a player for them to gain a sizable enough return. So I think this is kind of like an addition by subtraction moment. But I just think that the Chicago Bulls have loaded up so much on the team that's why you could probably give Markkanen as a discount, because, we're talking about, obviously, DeMar DeRozan. Look at the stats. The guy averages close to 7 assists per game, which not a lot of people know, but he's just a fantastic passer. Zach LaVine's got to take the next step in order for this team to get to where it has to go. But really the big person on that team wasn't so much of an acquisition, but it's Pat Williams. And we talked about him on my show, Boards to Buckets. Every Wednesday we talk basketball. So we just had a Chicago Bulls episode. So if you want to go back on the channel, Boards to Buckets, I'll hop it in here if it's okay with you, Rock Doggy. Write it in there. But yeah, we talked Chicago Bulls basketball. Big fan of the Caruso addition. There's a wave in the NBA, which we talk about in our channel quite a bit, that NBA fans should keep in mind for. What's up? Sorry.
I just want to put a plug out there for I love your stream. I watch it all the time. If you're a basketball fan, you have to watch it. It's really, really it's pure basketball love and knowledge. A lot of it. It's a great stream. I love it. So you can plug that anytime. Here, put it in the chat, whatever you want to do.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so the take that I'm giving now is kind of the kinds of takes that we have on the channel. So it's a little different than NBA Top Shot. It's just NBA driven. But if we look at Drew Holiday as a basketball player, right? Drew Holiday was obviously the key for not just the Milwaukee Bucks to win a championship and for Giannis to finally get to the level where he had to go, but also Team USA. And why was that? Was because there's a new wave in the NBA going where if you're a player that's very good at defense, you're picking up guys from about half court. So it's not a full court press. You'll probably never see that in the NBA like you do in college basketball. But what you're going to start to see is a lot of players just gassing the other opponent's point guard. So Chris Paul, for instance, great in the first 2 games. By game 3, 4, 5, 6, he got old because Drew Holiday was harassing him from half court.
Caruso, same thing. Caruso can play some D on a point guard.
Exactly.
And that's a huge acquisition.
Exactly. So look for more of those. And I think Chicago got a great deal there. So I think there's a lot of areas that I can expand on with the Chicago Bulls. But, for all intents and purposes, I know Rock Doggy, you got 2 daughters ago, and you got some stuff to do with the family. Just will say, it's been a pleasure to be on here with you guys.
Yeah, we can just end it here. I appreciate everyone in the
Thanks,
chat.
Rob.
I appreciate you, Mike.
Dream.
I appreciate you, Dream, so much. Thank you, Alex, for coming on. Thank you, Torque, for being my longtime co-host. Nothing but love. Every single Sunday night, 9 o'clock. Come on back, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
And then
Later, guys.
Love you guys. Peace.